Carrie White's story is very heartbreaking. It is the story of a young teenage girl who is trapped in a cycle of abuse and isolation. To truly understand how she got to where she was, where she finally snapped, we need to start with her upbringing. Carrie's mother, Margaret, is an extreme religious fanatic whose religious views dominate the entirety of Carrie's life. Religion is this woman's entire identity and personality. And Margaret's abusive behavior towards Carrie, she feels is justified by her own twisted interpretation of religion. She sees Carrie Morris as outsider, this thing, the other, rather than an individual with her own needs and her own feelings. Margaret's dehumanization of Carrie is one of the essential factors that led to Carrie's eventual breakdown. When Carrie got her first period, instead of supporting her and explaining, well, this is what happened, this is what happens whenever you reach this age, she told Carrie it was because she was a sinner and had lustful thoughts.
And God made Eve from the rib of Adam, and Eve was weak and loosed the raven on the world, and the raven was called sin. Say it. The raven was called sin.
Why didn't you tell me, Mama?
Say it.
No.
The raven was called sin.
Ooh, Mama, and the raven was called sin.
And first sin was intercourse. First sin was intercourse.
I didn't sin, Mama. No,
say it.
I didn't sin, Mama.
First sin was intercourse. First sin was intercourse. First sin was intercourse.
And the first sin was intercourse, Mama. I was so scared. I thought I was dying. And the girls, they all laughed at me and threw things at me.
Oh, Lord. Help the sinning woman see the sin of her days and ways. Show her that if she had remained sinless, the curse of blood would never have come on her. She may have been tempted by the Antichrist. She may have committed the sin of lustful thoughts.
No, Mama,
Oh, don't
no.
lie to me, Carrietta. Don't you know by now I can see inside you? I can see the sin as surely as God can.
And that's why she started her period, is because she was a sinner. When she showed her powers to her mother for the first time, her mother called her a witch instead of being like, wow, like, what is this? And whenever she told her mother to sit tight, don't say a word till I'm gone, the mother was like, thou shalt not suffer a witch to live, all because Carrie stood up to her. So just imagine that you're stuck in this environment all the time where you're told that you're a sinner, you're worthless, you're a terrible, terrible person. That is the kind of environment that Carrie was trapped in at home and had to experience day in and day out. Moving on to her life outside the home, Carrie's experiences at school are really no better. She is an outcast and a scapegoat. She is ridiculed and bullied by some of her peers and classmates. So the infamous locker room scene is a very good but hard example to watch. So when Carrie gets her period, instead of receiving support from any of the girls or comfort, she's humiliated. Pads are thrown at her, tampons are thrown at her, and she is told to plug it up. And she has shown no sympathy whatsoever. The relentless bullying that Carrie faces from her classmates, especially Chris Hargensen, and aside, she's even bullied by some of her teachers. All this bullying pushed her further into isolation and despair. And even though Sue recognized what she did was wrong and tried to do the right thing, that doesn't negate the fact that Carrie was still bullied day in and day out. This constant mistreatment played a significant role in shaping her psyche. Now let's talk about religious trauma. Margaret's abusive behavior is not just physical, but deeply psychological. She uses the idea of religion to instill fear and guilt in Carrie, leading to severe emotional scars. Carrie's life is constantly dominated by this fear and guilt. All this makes it impossible for her to even form a healthy self-image of herself, even when she finally had the confidence to stand up to her mother. Stephen King, in his book The Danse Macabre, said that Carrie is largely about how women find their own channels of power. Carrie tried to find her power, tried to find the courage to stand up to the people, tried to find the courage to stand up to her mother and gain more self-confidence, but eventually snapped. Understanding the psychology of a bullying victim is crucial to properly analyzing the character of Carrie. On the website stopbullying.gov, it states that prolonged bullying can lead to depression, anxiety, low self-esteem, self-harming behavior, and drug and alcohol abuse. Carrie's telekinetic powers can be seen as a metaphor for the explosive potential within every bullied individual when they're pushed to their limits. The prom scene is the ultimate culmination and breaking point for Carrie. All of the trauma that she has endured, all the ridiculing, all the bullying, finally just let out of her in one fell swoop, an explosion, and this is where she finally snapped. It is a tragic event, but it happens because of everything that she's endured throughout the course of her life.
Sorry.
Trust me, Carrie.
So this brings us to the question, the main question that I posed at the beginning. Is Carrie a victim or a villain? It is important to view her actions through the lens of her experiences. Carrie is both victim and villain. Her actions at the prom, you could say, are a little extreme and a little overkill, but they're a response to years of abuse and trauma. Carrie is a morally ambiguous character. She's not 100% evil. She's a product of her environment. The film portrays her as a tragic figure caught in a cycle of abuse, revenge, and bullying. And there you have it. There's an analysis of the character of Carrie White from the horror movie Carrie. If you like this character analysis and want me to do more, let me know in the comments below. But I would also love to know your thoughts. Do you see Carrie as 100% a villain, 100% a victim, or do you see her as a little bit of both? Also, let me know that as well. And sadly, class is dismissed, everybody, for now, but I will see you next time. Bye.